Quickfire book recommendations for land value tax and associated principles. I don't recommend that you read them all. For some of us, this is an obsession. For others, it's potentially vital knowledge for major changes, hopefully coming up, but we'll see. Save for the moment where you actually want to read more. Starting off strong, Who Owns England by Guy Shrubsole. This book made me really angry, and it will make you angry too. It covers, amongst other things, why we don't know who owns a lot of England. The ownership of land is hidden and obfuscated. Why? Why? Read Guy. With Inky Blots and Rotten Parchment by Ian Hopton is less mainstream, more kind of operational in my view. It covers some of the practical elements of a land value tax, like the treatment of agricultural land, for example. One of my faves, Rethinking the Economics of Land and Housing by various people. It's a New Economics Foundation book. This doesn't cover tax as much as it should. It touches on it ever so slightly, so it's not like a tax book, but it does cover a lot from a thinky tanky type of view. So it's worth a read. More accessible than it looks. Owning the Earth by Andrew Linklater is a hefty book, weighs the earth, and this looks into how we got to where we are and looks at land ownership over the last few centuries. If you read one book on this list, I'd recommend this, The New Enclosure by Brett Christophers. I've read a few of Brett Christophers' books now on asset management and the different sort of issues around land ownership. This is excellent. I give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for accessibility. You do need to be aware of some principles of economics in order to read this. And every now and again, I think Christophers gets carried away and he's less plain English than I think he could be. But this is bloody brilliant. Not Land Value Tax as such, but Capital in the 21st Century by Thomas Piketty is, if you want to read one book on economics in your whole life, read this. This is a classic. It's a new classic. It's a classic for a reason. It's something that critical theorists and anybody who just wants an understanding of the economic shitstorm that we're in around ownership and the ownership of stuff in capital in the 21st century is it for you. Extremely accessible. Moving on to the least accessible of the lot because they are old school, The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. I would recommend not reading this in full. I'd recommend reading, dipping in and out, but it's an old book. You can just Google what Adam Smith thought about land value tax. Now, Smith gets a lot of misunderstanding around his views on certain things, but when it comes to land, I think he is a precursor to a lot of neoliberal thinking, and it was the Adam Smith Institute that originally recommended the poll tax and community charge, etc. So, but the Smith's Wealth of Nations, he would be very pro land value tax. This is one of the foundational texts around it. Similarly, David Ricardo on the principles and political economy of and taxation. Sorry, I couldn't read that backwards. Again, old school. If you want to show off that you've read economics books, these are the ones to read. The OG of Land Value Tax is Progress and Poverty by Henry George. I did used to have a beautiful older copy of this, but I lost it, and now I've got this newer copy that doesn't, I don't know, I feel like I want to bash it up a little bit. But yeah, land value tax and the taxation of land is called Georgism for a reason. Henry George really is the father of land value taxation in the way we talk about it now. There are others and books around how we finance public services, about local government finance, about local government taxation, and about council tax and poll tax, and the history of the tax and how we got here is a whole separate video selection. But for now, if you read any of these books on land value tax, you will gain a better understanding of the kind of things that we're talking about. Happy reading.